So then, if you awaken from this illusion and you understand that black implies white, self implies other, life implies death, or shall I say, death implies life, you can feel yourself not as a stranger in the world, not as something here on probation, not as something that has arrived here by fluke, but you can begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. What you are basically, deep, deep down, far, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself. Let's suppose that you were able every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. And that you could, for example, have the power within one night to dream 75 years of time, or any length of time you wanted to have. And you would naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes. You would have every kind of pleasure you could conceive. And after several nights of 75 years of total pleasure each, you would say, well, that was pretty great. But now let's have a surprise. Let's have a dream which isn't under control, where something is going to happen to me that I don't know what it's going to be. And you would dig that and come out of that and say, wow, that was a close shave, wasn't it? Then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now. You would dream the dream of living the life that you are actually living today. That would be within the infinite multiplicity of choices you would have, of playing that you weren't God. Because the whole nature of the Godhead, according to this idea, is to play that he's not. So in this idea then, everybody is fundamentally the ultimate reality, not God in a politically kingly sense, but God in the sense of being the self, the deep down basic whatever there is. And you're all that, only you're pretending you're not.
We are all interconnected. Hallo allemaal, daar zijn we dan weer, RHTV Live. En ja, natuurlijk gaan we het over politiek hebben en andere maatschappelijke issues. Ja, we gaan eerst even op Twitter kijken. Hè? En ja, we gaan kijken wat er allemaal gebeurt op Twitter. Trust the experts. Yep, trust the experts. Dit is ook interessant. Pentagon confirms these drones are not human. Maar wel een editor's note. Nowhere in the video did the spokesperson say the drones are not human. The poster is assuming this based off of the spokesperson saying that they're not specifically US military drones and have no evidence they are adversaries, from adversaries. Dus zoals eerder gezegd, gisteren hadden we het erover, zijn er heel veel drones en UAP's, Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon, in Amerika. En ja, er is een heel persconferentie geweest daarover. We gaan even hier naar kijken. Dus de Pentagon Defense Department briefing.
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
From the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water.
These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing.
They know that they can't track them. They know that they don't emit a signal. They know that they can't see them when they turn their lights out. They also indicated that they don't know where they come from. They don't know where they go to.
One family claims they followed a drone in their car, and while it hovered above them, the clock in their car changed times.
Some of the FBI agents that have been assigned to look into this have reported drones flying over their homes.
It's right here over Picatinny. There was a drone just hanging out. I put my drone up in the air and went towards it. I had full battery life. Not 3 minutes into the flight, I lost control of the drone. Warning on my screen, lost control, and my drone started going down dead.
These are fully charged batteries. It's 2 batteries that have died within seconds, and the drone went up and, like a couple feet off the table, and then came right back down.
Okay, you see it? You see how it goes? See how it goes? And then it becomes a spacecraft or aircraft or whatever you want to call it.
What the fuck is that, bro? Did it just get smaller? Bro, what?
Above the ocean, and it was low, very low, but so bright and so clear, and it was huge. Like when you...
I'm concerned. I issued a letter to ask for more information, and I think there should be a lot more transparency about that.
Can you make that make more sense? Because I think people in New York and New Jersey see drones the size of an SUV over their house every night and think that that doesn't make any sense.
I understand why people would be looking at this and being concerned about it. We're concerned about it too, which is why we have the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. My goodness, looking at this, and we're taking...
So what's happening over there at the United States? We weten het niet. Zij weten het niet. Dus ja, moeilijk. En ja, we gaan verder kijken. Oh ja, hier in het volgende artikel. Roemenië heeft dus verkiezingen gehad. Ja, en deze gast hier zo, die is dus gekozen. Hè? En Georgescu of zoiets, die werd dus gekozen. En nee, dat is niet eerlijk gegaan. De Rusland heeft invloed gehad in die verkiezingen, al dus de EU en NATO. En die zeggen, ja, je moet opnieuw gaan stemmen. Je moet opnieuw gaan stemmen. Nou, wat heeft het voor zin om naar de stembus te gaan, als je steeds opnieuw moet gaan stemmen, omdat de stem niet bevalt? Breaking, the EU is making every possible effort to stop Georgescu from winning the next Romanian election after annulling the previous one. Dus de verkiezingen werden gehouden. Deze gast heeft gewonnen. Externe machten zeggen, nee, dat is niet eerlijk. Nee. Er is Russisch invloed geweest. En dit en dat. Ja, jullie moeten de verkiezingen opnieuw gaan houden. Ja. Dus, wat heeft het dan voor zin om naar de stembus te gaan? Als externe machten zeggen van, ja, nee, dat is niet eerlijk eraan toegegaan. So, we're doing this in Dutch and English, I guess. Georgescu has had his hearing and internet to his house cut off. This guy won the election, right? He won the election. And external powers, EU and NATO, say, nope, there's Russian influence, nope. So they're pressuring the Romanians to say, yeah, you got to call off these elections, and yeah, you got to vote again. It's like, what, really? Echt waar? Echt waar? Wat nou als het gebeurt in Nederland? Moet je eens voorstellen, ons kabinet valt. Waar een grote kans op is. Er komen verkiezingen. En daar heb je dus PVV wint heel veel zetels. Theoretisch gezien. PVV wint heel veel zetels. FVD wint heel veel zetels. Misschien wel jaar 21. Om maar 3 rechtse partijen op te noemen. En dan zegt de EU, ja, nee, dat is niet eerlijk eraan toegegaan. Nee. Nou, dan moet je opnieuw naar de stembus toe gaan. Omdat de EU, een externe factor, die eigenlijk niks te maken heeft met Nederland, die zegt, nee, dat is niet eerlijk eraan toegegaan. Nee, je moet opnieuw gaan stemmen. Ik denk van, wat? Serieus? Bezwijk je daaraan? Aan druk? Aan een instantie waar wij al heel veel aan betalen. Zonder Nederland bestond er geen EU, in mijn optiek. Want we hebben van die fanaten hier in Nederland. Die zeggen van ja, Nederland is te klein. En als klein landje kun je niet veel inbrengen op een internationaal plek. Dus we moeten meedoen met de grotere machten. Zo denken heel veel Nederlanders, helaas. Helaas denken ze zo. Dus daar hebben ze zoiets van, ja, we moeten bij de EU horen. En ja, zonder de EU hadden we geen Nederland. Ook weer zoiets van, wat? Nederland, het land zelf, bestaat al super lang natuurlijk. Spanjaarden hadden Nederland in handen, destijds. En we hadden ons vrijgevochten van de Spanjaarden, de centrale macht destijds. En we hadden toen gezegd, nee, wij zijn Nederland. We scheiden ons af van de Spaanse provinciën. We zijn Nederland. Nou, 1581, de akte van verlating. Maar ja, spoelen we door helemaal naar 2024. Nou, we zitten in de EU. In de tijd dat ik opgroeide werd mij verteld van, oh Rusland, daar heb je socialisten, communisten. Maar kijken nu hedendaags naar Europa, overal communisten, socialisten. Echt niet normaal. Niet normaal. Neo-Marxisten, die eigenlijk alles liever kapot zien gaan. Maar ja, dat is de mens, denk ik. De mens is zelf destructief. Ja. Maar ja, we gaan even terug. En dan gaan we even kijken naar het volgende artikel. Weet u dit nog? Je doet het voor een ander. Je doet het voor een ander. Oorlog voeren doe je voor een ander. Ja, echt waar. Ja. Dus. So, these are all politicians, right? This is Sigrid Kaag, who now resides at the UN. You know, she's someone who, you know, has influence in Gaza, whatever left of that, you know. But she's for the Palestinians and such. This was back when, when the government was totalitarian and said, take the shot. You're doing it for someone else. Je doet het voor een ander. Ja, je doet het voor een ander.
Wie een vaccin neemt, doet iets voor een ander. Beschermt de ander.
We moeten ons echt laten vaccineren. Want je beschermt namelijk niet alleen jezelf. Je beschermt ook de mensen van wie je houdt. De mensen met wie je werkt. De mensen met wie je uit wil gaan.
Ja, het is natuurlijk heel mooi om weer met zoveel mensen bij elkaar te komen. Hè? Omdat we zo ver zijn met vaccineren. En omdat we die coronatoegangsbewijzen gebruiken. Hè? Dat maakt het toch veiliger om weer in grote groepen bij elkaar te komen.
Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping immunisation before it's entered the market? No. We had to really move at the speed of science to really understand.
Really move at the speed of science. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. They engineered a bioweapon called COVID-19, right? They engineered this. So when you engineer something, you also make the antidote, right? Very simple. But they did not have the antidote. So they made a cocktail, Who cares? Who cares? Ja, zo gaat dat meestal als je iets creëert, dan maak je ook een antidoot. Dat hadden ze niet. Dus ze gaan zo'n cocktail maken van allerlei producten. En ja, voordat het op de markt is, ze hebben het gewoon niet getest. Ze hebben gewoon gezegd, we moeten het uitbrengen nu. Ja, we gaan het niet testen? Nee, dat doen we niet. Regarding the question around whether we knew it protected you or not,
did we know about stopping immunisation before it's entered the market? No. We had to really move at the speed of science to really understand what is taking place in the market.
This is scandalous. Millions of people worldwide felt forced to get vaccinated because of the myth that you do it for others. Now this turned out to be a cheap lie.
You are being lied to by your own government. Je wordt gelogen door je eigen regering. Maakt mij geen snars uit welke partij het is. Of nou de FVD is, die ik toch wel enigszins mag. Want ze hebben een conservatieve uiting. Of nou PVV is, CDA, maakt mij allemaal geen zak uit. Maakt mij geen zak uit. Wie het nou is. Je wordt gewoon belazerd. En ja, misschien zit het in de mens. Om gewoon elkaar te belazeren. Zoiets van, boeien. Eerlijk zijn in deze wereld? Nee, dat bestaat niet. Ja, je moet minstens crimineel zijn. Pro-EU gekkies maken alles kapot in Georgië. So if we look at Georgia, there were elections too, right? And there is this guy or party basically who won the elections, Georgian Dream, and now there is this guy elected by the Georgian Dream within Parliament, right? Mikhail, what's his name? We'll look it up. But he's elected to be president whilst the sitting president does not want to be in power, or does not want to be, to have that person in power. So we're going to look it up, who that person is, and we're going to take a look at these images here. Oh. So you have protesters protesting against the new government of, of Georgia, and it's really, really sad. Now you see the state, right? The state acting upon their own citizens because the citizens want to join the EU, and it's madness. Madness. What is wrong with people, man? Take a look at this, right? Moet je zien hoeveel agenten er zijn. So there you have government responding to protesters. Yep. Elections become useless in the West. Yep, indeed. In Georgia, a candidate has lost but refuses to leave. We just saw images from the protesters and the police. Well, actually the police. But yeah, they're heading towards the protesters. So in Georgia, a candidate lost but refuses to leave. In Romania, a candidate was on a path to win. So the election, the leading party of Le Pen excluded from government, while the third place party rules through playing the positions against each other. German parties refuse to work with the increasingly popular and in some states leading party AfD, while the government wants to ban it now. Both leading, this is in Germany, this is England. Both leading parties are the same, and changed from one to another led to zero change, and government approval is on a historic low now. This is South Korea. The president had extremely low approval and has initiated martial law to coup the parliament. Yeah. This is all happening, right? Very, very sad thing to see. Ja, het is erg triest dat dit allemaal gebeurt anno 2024. Ja, en ja, dat kan toch niet waar zijn? Ja, toch? Romania is the first country to fall into NATO dictatorship after an anti-war candidate won an election. Ja, Roemenië weer. Het is onvoorstelbaar, maar dit gebeurt allemaal. En ja, we kijken verder op Twitter. Het is wel een handige platform om te gaan kijken wat er allemaal gezegd wordt. Live, George Galloway.
Attack me, I have to go looking for who they are because I never heard of them before. I'm washing my hands of those. I will no longer walk on the same path as you. I'm washing my hands of the sectarians. I've always hated sectarianism. It's just me. I spent so many years in my youth being called a Fenian bastard. I've always hated sectarianism. In Scotland, a mixed marriage is one between two white Christians of different denominations. I cannot fathom why, when the Arab world is being looted by imperialism, people would rather suck the boots of the imperial owner of their resources than associate with a Muslim who prays differently, who holds their hand differently in prayer, and has, in the grand scheme of things, minuscule doctrinal differences with them.
You see, we are all human beings. I don't care what religion you have, whether you're Muslim or Christian or Jewish or whatever, man, whatever. I'm an atheist. Yeah. I don't believe. I believe in myself. And I try to believe in others. But that's hard in this world. Very, very hard. Because everyone has their own interests. Ja. Iedereen heeft eigen belang. Zolang ik het maar goed heb. En boeien wat anderen gebeurt. Wat daar of daar elders gebeurt. Dat maakt allemaal niet uit. Nee, daar kijken we niet naar. Zolang ik het maar goed heb. Georgia's new president-elect by MPs admit opposition boycott. We saw what's happening on the streets in Georgia. And now we're going to see the president.
It was an election that could only have one winner because there was only one candidate. Mikhail Kavilashvili, former footballer turned politician, was voted in by a college of voters and not the public in accordance with new rules. They took turns in filling out a ballot which had just one option, something the Central Election Commission didn't have a problem with.
225 members of college have participated in this process, where we have one invalid ballot paper and 224 valid ballot papers, according to which Mikhail Kavilashvili has been elected as the new president of Georgia.
The one invalid ballot came from this woman.
You should have selected a better candidate. You have damaged Georgia with this decision. I have no option but to drop an empty ballot.
Outside of Parliament, protesters gathered for the 17th day in a row. They continued demanding a rerun of October's parliamentary.
You see EU flags and such. Allemaal pro-EU. Die willen aansluiten bij de EU, deze mensen. Ja, dat is ook uitbreiding van de EU. En als we nou gaan kijken op de kaart, Georgië, dat ligt op de voet van Rusland. Dan heb je straks weer een conflict met Rusland. Ja, want Rusland wil niet dat de EU zo ver uit gaat breiden. Want dat heeft ook invloed op NATO. Dan zijn ze helemaal omsingeld. Wat, moet Kazachstan ook bij de EU? So Russia does not want NATO influence or EU influence in Georgia. I can understand that. Seeing how Ukraine is being used as a battering ram against Russia, right? And Ukraine is losing the war.
Elections, saying anything happening since then is null and void.
Whatever they do, including electing a new president, we don't think it is legitimate in any way.
It may seem chaotic that protesters are playing football, but first of all, they're trying to stay warm. This is the coldest day the Georgian capital has seen this season. And secondly, this is a jab at Mikhail Kavilashvili.
Did you know that he doesn't even have a diploma? He barely graduated high school. He was a football player. Our parliament is full of football players. I studied political science. I would never be able to get into this parliament because I've never played football in my entire life.
The country's prime minister congratulated Kavillashvili while taking a stab at his predecessors.
For the first time in 20 years, Georgia will have a president who's a patriot and someone of sound mental health.
Outgoing President Salome Zurabishvili supports the protesters and dismissed the election. She says she will stay on until a legitimate president is elected. Her term in office is due to expire on December 29th.
That's her. Ja, dat is de president die niet af wil treden. En we hebben net de premier gehoord. Verschillende lagen binnen de president en de premier. Dus ja, die premier en de president, de huidige, die staan niet oog in oog met elkaar.
The same day as Kavillashvili's planned inauguration. Dmitry Medvedenko, Al Jazeera, Tbilisi.
You know, looking at these images, you'd say that these were
the same day
Dutch police. Nou, het lijkt veel op de Nederlandse politie dit. Nou, behalve petje dan. Maar er lijkt er wel veel op, hè. Ja. Dus... ja, de president is gekozen. En ja, is dat een goed iets of een fout iets? De toekomst moet het uitwijzen. We hebben ook een andere clip van iemand die veel over het leven nadenkt. My friend Dave, or Dave, I believe, was talking about living in their own dystopian reality.
Hello, I'm David. This week, I've mostly been thinking about how life and our world all kind of looks like a bad dystopian movie of some kind, like a mashup of different kinds of dystopias. And I come back to kind of the idea of a totalitarian 1984 Orwellian world kind of versus an Aldous Huxley Brave New World type of scenario. When I was a kid, I remember when we first got the internet at home, when it became widely publicly available. I was probably 13 or so. And before that, I had connected to online bulletin board systems and participated in, message boards and graffiti walls and whatever. And at the time, it wasn't considered popular. It was just sort of a computer nerd thing that computer nerds did. Nobody really had an interest in it. And you fast forward to today, and everyone is doing all of the old things from a BBS world now as if it were new and trendy. Twitter, X, Instagram, Reddit, any of that kind of stuff really all exists.
Yeah, we're going in deep, right? We're going in deep. You're bringing up 1984 and Brave New World. It's an amalgamation of both. You see, we're stimulated by drugs that we use or not, chocolate is also a drug. Coffee could be a drug, right? So we're stimulated with that, and we're desensitized by movies where you see many people die, zombies, all that, It's desensitization of human beings, right? Dus je ziet in heel veel films dat heel veel mensen vermoord worden en zombies en weet ik wat allemaal. Nou, dat is ontkoppeling van de mens. Desensitize the human being. Ja. Ontkoppeling van de mens. Het is heel erg triest dat men daarin gevormd wordt. Een bepaalde beeld heeft. En deze gast, die heeft al wat gelezen, ga ik vanuit. Want die heeft het over 1984 en Brave New World.
Prior to even the internet. But when I was younger and first on the internet, I looked at computers and I looked at the internet and I thought, wow, this is the everything box. And kind of like how in ancient Rome they were able to deliver water either very cheaply or free, I looked at the internet and I thought, okay, we're going to do the same kind of thing, but with information. And the assumption being the free flow of information will inherently make the world a better place all around.
Now, David, I have questions, right? Why would you interpret the internet, the stuff of things, why would you interpret that as, a better world? Human beings don't just change in the snap of a finger, right? Now, there is a free flow of information that they're trying to stop. But if we look at channels such as X and other news gathering channels, we see this amalgamation of dystopian stuff, right? So my question would be, why would you think that introducing the World Wide Web would fundamentally change the human being?
And I envisioned education being free, people sharing ideas.
You see, it could be free. Education could be free. You can educate yourself, right? Now, we have internet, and just type in some random stuff, and whatever it is, Google can find it. There's also a lot of bullshit on the internet. So Google can find it. Yeah. And so education can be free if you want to educate yourself. You see, society is based upon you're born, the first years of your life, say 0 to 2, you stay at your family and such, and then you go to preschool, and then you go to kindergarten, and then you go to this, the stages of life. We all walk this path. So, and once you're high up on the ladder, the only thing you can do is fall down. or you can stay on the top of the ladder, right? It's up to you, to your own path. Yeah.
And just generally, people being freed up, having more freedom, and more time to pursue things in a great...
You see, freedom is something you have to fight for. Freedom is not free. You see, America is founded on people who gave their lives against the colony. Ja, the same as the Netherlands. In Nederland, mensen hebben zich opgeofferd tegen de Spanjaarden, tegen de centrale macht, om zo ver te kunnen komen. Ja, wij waren een handelsland. We gingen overal handelen, overal in de wereld. Everywhere in the world, the Dutch were present. Yeah? But we nullified ourselves. This is the beautiful city of Maastricht, which is in the south of the Netherlands. And we are live streaming from Maastricht, looking to our beautiful planet. Yeah? I know it's ignorant to say that I can change the world by myself. Yeah? It's the thought that counts. We're all human beings, right? The only thing I don't want to see is war. De enige wat ik niet wil is oorlog. We moeten de planeet met elkaar gaan delen en noem het allemaal op. Respecteer elkaar. Maar dat gebeurt niet. There is no respect for each other. Right? So if we look at Syria, Assad is gone, and now we have Turkey invading the northeast. We have Israel going to Damascus from the Golan Heights, right? We have the US bombing ISIS. There are ISIS factions still in Syria. So it's one big hellhole, and it's not safe to go back yet. Het is niet veilig om terug te gaan. We hebben Turkije die interveneert in het noordoosten, Israël vanaf de Golanhoogte, en dan heb je nog Amerika die ook bombardeert. Dus het is nog niet veilig om terug te gaan naar Syrië. Ja, hoewel heel veel Nederlandse mensen zoiets hebben, ja, die Syrië is hier lang genoeg gebleven. Nu kunnen ze terug naar huis. Zowel Assad wegging, nu is hij weg. Nu kunnen ze... Nee. Nog niet. Nog niet. Ja, want het is nog lang niet veilig daar in Syrië. Dus gruwelijke beelden, publieke executies, public executions in Syria, right? It's a power vacuum, and all these opposing armies are fighting for power in Damascus, and it's one big hellhole. We've also seen this in Libya, remember? Oh, Gaddafi bad, Gaddafi bad. Oh, Gaddafi bad. Power vacuum in Libya, and it's still not solved. Even though lots and lots of money and weapons and arms go to Ukraine to fight the Russians. Yeah. But the countries such as Libya, torn up by intervention, nope, Nope, we're not going to give you any money. Nope. What about Syria? We invested in a proxy trying to overthrow Assad for 3 years. 25 million a year went to this proxy, and 75 million was just spent on warfare. Ja, 75 miljoen gewoon gespendeerd aan een proxy dat Assad omver wil werpen. Echt triest. Echt triest. Is dat nou onze inbreng in zulke landen zoals Syrië? Ja, dat moeten we maar kapot maken. Libië, dat moeten we maar kapot maken. Irak, dat moeten we maar kapot maken. Afghanistan, dat moeten we maar kapot maken. Is dat de enige belang wat Nederland daarin heeft? Ja, het is echt triest. Maar ja, het zal de mensen wel boeien. En ja, het medeleven is op een zeer laag pitje wat de mensheid betreft. Ja. Maar goed, het vuur moet aangewakkerd blijven. En ja, daar zijn we voor bij RHTVLive. Living in our own dystopian reality. Yep. So let's go back at what he said about the internet and freedom.
But when I was younger and first on the internet, I looked at computers and I looked at the internet and I thought, wow, this is the everything box. And kind of like how in ancient Rome, they were able to deliver water either very cheaply or free. I looked at the internet and I thought, okay, we're going to do the same kind of thing, but with information. And the assumption being the free flow of information will inherently make the world a better place all around. I kind of envisioned education being free, people sharing ideas, and just generally people being freed up, having more freedom and more time to pursue things in a greater understanding in general by the population in general. But well, I guess there has been some of that.
Well, people like to stay ignorant. You know, that is the human being, right? The human being likes to stay ignorant. And, yeah, not my concern. Not my concern.
There's a lot of chaos. And a lot of corruption of what I guess could be a better, more pure, more good system with the flow of information and connection of people through technology. Now, what's kind of stuck out to me is like how YouTube, for example, would have first started back in 2005 or 6. Now it's kind of morphed into this thing where everybody is chasing views and followers and even just the nomenclature or vernacular of likes and following and super chats for money, and the whole idea that you could even, with good intention, start communicating or interacting on these platforms, and then just by the very nature of the systems themselves of likes and dislikes and the inclusion of a monetary component and people just commenting and pushing you or shoving you in a direction to chase likes and change your message, and it's no longer pure.
Well, you see, Dave, I have my message, right? We try to look objectively at stuff. And, you know, people are hard to change. It's like warning people, there's a hole in the road. Don't go there. There's a hole in the road. Yeah, listen to that guy, huh? He says there's a hole in the road. Yeah. And then they, you know, fall in the hole and they climb up and dust themselves off and just go on their merry path, right? This happens. This is human nature. So, yeah.
Really about sharing information, seeking truth, or betterment. It starts getting corrupted by what catches views. And that sort of idea, I guess, is kind of in overdrive or extreme. When you look at a platform like TikTok, somebody in one of the news platforms had mentioned a TikToker by the name of Amber Unavailable. And if you go and look at her TikTok feed, it's just sort of this mind-blasted craziness of silly insanity for, I guess, the sake of chasing views, where she just does this kind of strange and weird behavior. And when the...
Well, you see, people want to belong. People want attention, right? People want to belong somewhere. People feel disconnected because society wants you disconnected, right? And so you have no influence on what's happening on the world stage. So all these criminals in power, right, can do what they want and even have immunity from doing what they're doing. They want you disconnected from political issues, right? It's politics that has influence on society in a whole. I went to the shopping mall and I saw this product which I frequently buy, you know, and suddenly the price was, you know, something else. Normally I don't look at the price, but you know, going to the cash register, it was more than I was used to, right? You get used to stuff. And I was looking at the receipt and, hey, it's $175 instead of $160. Right? It went 15 cents, the product went up. Right? And I was like, what, really? You know, people don't care. People don't care. They don't care about the high costs. You know, they just work harder, work more hours, and you know, work harder and earn more. No, when you work harder, They're going to take more from you. You're not going to earn more. They're taking more. The system that we are living in is hundreds of years old. They're not going to give up the system because internet is around. Right? It's hundreds of years old. So they want you controlled. They want you under their spell. And yeah, many people are.
Compoundingly absurd thing, I guess, is she gets tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or 1 million plus views for just abject, insane behavior. So I guess that's
abject, insane behavior, which would be, some people would say it's insane to have a live stream and one person is watching. I don't care. I don't care. It's about the message that you give, right? The message. And, it's on the internet, so anyone can receive this. So the free flow of information does not give you freedom. Right? It only shows you more, how the state is operating under a veil of rules and regulations, which, it's nonsense. Nonsense. Why are we the only species that have to pay to live? Now you have to pay for your house, your living space. No, why? You're not put on this planet to be a product of society, right? You're put on this planet for a reason. Now that reason is within you.
Predominantly what I've been thinking about this week is how we're in probably more closely to a Brave New World type of dystopian future where we're just distracted and our time is spent on all of these kind of hedonistic, silly, pointless, and meaningless kind of things that catch our attention and time and even kind of blast and blow up people's minds who are creating the so-called content because they're not exactly doing any kind of communication that is good or meaningful per se, but they are caught up in the chaos or firestorm or whatever the insanity of digital social media is that just leads people to chase likes and validation from people behind a screen.
People want to belong, right? Now, you may be an outcast or whatever, I'm not knowledgeable of that, but yeah, you may question yourself, why am I doing this, right? Why am I spreading this message? No. My message is about peace. Yeah? My message is about the globalists trying to take over the sovereignty of countries and such via the World Economic Forum, Bilderberg Group, Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, politics. And politics is the heart of society, right? If you have good politics, you have a good society. Yeah. But now there's a cancerous thing called the globalists, called the World Economic Forum, and you know, they have influence on the governments, right? The governments are infiltrated by these shadowy organizations who make the agenda. And when we are disconnected from the political scene, they can do anything, you know. So we need to forcefully connect ourselves with political matters.
Kind of Black Mirror kind of dystopian rabbit hole, I guess. So, yeah, I don't have a whole lot else really to talk about. Otherwise, I think for the most part, my past week or so has actually been fairly good. Work is still as irritating as it has been for the past year or so, and predominantly for the same reasons.
Well, Dave, you walk the path of life, right? And yeah, you're doing a shitty job that you actually like to do, right? But you're not getting paid enough for it. You know, start for yourself, whatever it is. Whether you like tinkering on computers, and you know, why not make your own computer shop? Now, it's up to you. It's up to you, Dave.
Which I don't think have really improved much, but the pace at work has at least been slower, so I've been able to catch up on stuff in general without just endless project activity going on. And it's the end of summer, or to me, it's the end of summer. My kids will go back to school starting at the end of this month. And that.
So we just met, and you're talking about your kids. Okay, that's kids, right? More than one. So yeah, you're a family man, working your shitty job. I hope your wife loves you.
Means, at least for me and them, there'll be less time for us together. So I don't particularly look forward to that reality. Wish I could spend my time.
Reality is of your own choosing, my friend, right? If you want to spend time with your kids, do it. You only live once. What's more important? The work that you do so you can support your family or your family. That's the tightrope you're walking on, right? I would rather choose for family. You know, jobs, yeah. Make your own job, right? Shine your own light, Dave. You know, you have gifts. You have stuff that you like to do, right? Work on that.
Doing more things I actually like to do, and with my kids and people I like to be around, rather than just seemingly working all of the time for the purposes of paying bills and taxes and not having a whole lot of just meaningful fun enjoyment or something else.
Life is supposed to be one big enjoyment ride. You know, you're supposed to learn, fall and stand up, and fall again, and stand up again, and fall again, and make your own path in life, right? Work may be a dull thing, but you know, it's good to have work when you think it's a dull thing. It's your life, Dave. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. And many people are like, questioning me, but I don't care. You see, I walk my own path. I don't care much about views or likes or dislikes, or I don't care about how people see me. I know who I am, right? So internally, I'm okay, but externally, looking outward to people, you know, you can see all these people are weird, really, really odd. You know, you have these people working for something that is made out of nothing. Yeah. These bankers, they make money out of nothing. And it's all being centralized, right? You know, the whole system is being centralized. You have one superpower against another superpower. Yeah? And we're just small screws in the whole system. Unless you have something like, hey, wait a minute, I'm not going to support this. This is bad. This is bad for my country. This is bad for myself. This is bad for my family. Right? But it's up to you.
But yeah. Oh, and this week I mostly had smoothies for lunch, and I made Hawaiian macaroni salad, so that was good. Anyway, that's all I really kind of have to talk about. I wish it was maybe a little bit more fleshed out and interesting, but I was not extremely motivated to sit down and have a poor excuse for a therapy session with myself, but I figured I might as well force myself to do it and just get it done. I actually did go to therapy for some period of time, shorter period of time, longer period of time, I don't know, depending on how you look at it. Went to group therapy sessions for a while. That was thoroughly.
Well, you see, I don't know about your path of life, but clearly you lost yourself somewhere. Otherwise, you wouldn't go to therapy, right? So, yeah, you have to discover who you are, why you are here. Yeah? Are you only here to consume and work and be a drone? Is that your life? Not my path, but, you know, question yourself that. Why are we here? Are we just here to, to work? I don't think so. We all have a goal, right? We want wealth for our families and wealth for the neighbor. Yeah? And, you know, everyone wealthy and healthy, right? That's what we want. We're not jealous of someone because they have a bigger car and a nicer suit. I don't care. Because under that suit, you are a human being. Yeah? You can have an accident with a car. So, yeah, what's that worth? Maybe easy going from A to B, right? But an accident is, yeah, always looming because people are stupid, distracted, put it that way, distracted. Oh, I gotta go home because Ajax is gonna play Spartak, Kiev or whatever. You know, it's stupid. It's stupid. So people want to distract themselves, not looking, and then, oh, an accident. Yep, an accident. And there you have your $100,000 car, big dent in the car, and, you know, oops. It's all material stuff. You are you, I am me, and, you know, that's it, right? I don't need government to say you're allowed to do this or you're allowed to do that. Well, screw that. Government is supposed to protect the population, not milk it out.
Thoroughly depressing to sit in group therapy sessions, but later went to individual therapy, and personally I found it kind of a mixed bag because while I thought the therapist was probably, well, she was very smart, well-spoken, and I think probably well-intentioned. Paying someone to sit in a room with you and talk about your kind of inane, common problems is sort of silly.
Yeah, it is silly. You know, you're sitting there talking about whatever is on your path, right? And someone is just listening and maybe even empathizing with what you're saying. So, you see, you have to have the inner monologue, right? Have a discussion with yourself. Have a discussion with yourself, not with an external person, external factor. No, have a discussion with yourself. And everyone listening, have a discussion with yourself. And the first question that would pop into mind would be, am I happy? Am I happy? Do you really need therapy to go walk the path of life? Or it's more a communal thing? I don't know.
And Len, at the end of the day, really nobody's going to help you with anything anyway. It always just comes down to you have to figure out your own problems anyway. And
Exactly. You have to have the inner monologue. Huh? Talk to yourself. Am I happy? Am I happy with a deprived neighborhood? Huh? Am I happy? Am I happy with all these, rich people with all these big houses and big cars? And am I happy? Are those people happy? Well, that's my question. Are those people really happy? Wanting that big car, wanting that big house? Are those people really happy? Because it all comes down to money, right? How much money can you spend? And money is made out of thin air. You see?
Paying somebody to sit in a room and mull over your so-called problems is just kind of silliness anyway, I think. You just end up doing this anyway, talking to yourself and trying to find a so-called good and positive direction in which to move and actionable items or steps you can take along your path to achieve a goal. So, I don't know. That was my experience with therapy. I might as well sit in a room with myself and talk to myself. It's about it.
That's what I'm saying. You have to have the inner monologue, right? Am I happy with myself? Am I happy with this partner? Or, it's your path. It's your path. Some people are happy. And, I'm happy that they're happy. And that's how it works. Positive vibes come when all people are happy. And positive stuff, and maybe even world peace. Maybe even that.
Is effective, which is, whatever. So, anyway, that's it. It feels a lot like we're living in a dystopian reality, in my opinion, and probably closer to Brave New World than 1984, but there's certainly some elements of 1984. So, anyway, hope you're having a good week. Talk to you later.
I always have a good time, right? So, yeah. It was nice meeting you, Dave, and we'll see each other next time. So, let's take a look at what else is happening on this beautiful planet. I see I'm live. Mass extinction, false flag. This is very interesting. So let's take a look at this here.
Well, this is probably one reason out of many why drones aren't flying here in Florida. As only the tough survive here in this beautiful free state, as a lot of people are asking the question, what are these drones? As some people are speculating that they are Iranian motherships, that they're Chi-Coms, that they're Russian, that they're aliens, that they're UFOs, or they're secret American surveillance technology that is trying to stop a dirty bomb or suitcase nuke. What in the world is going on here? Well, we're going to be doing our best to answer that, as a lot of the internet sleuths look like they have something to really consider that could be an explanation for all of this, and I think it's something major, something concerning, as clearly the information that we're getting from the government here is absolutely just filled with lies, distortion, and misinformation, as of course...
You see, that's why we have our own media. We question. What's going on here? What's going on with all these drones and the UFOs? When I look outside of my beautiful city, I haven't seen any drones. Nope, no big UFO or drone or triangle. I haven't seen one yet. But if we go up north, in certain areas, there are UFO sightings.
I think the true answer is a little bit more concerning, especially with the larger possibility here of something bigger at play here that the government is very quiet about, so they don't, of course, create panic amongst the general public. Now, in my opinion, that's a little bit too much of a nice explanation to give to the federal government that has a long track record of doing unethical experiments on unsuspecting citizens, committing false flags, orchestrating entire events in order to get general publics into war, and of course, almost every step of the way, screwing over you the American taxpayer. So we're going to have our own kind of assessment on all of this. As already, the memes have begun as the future president of the United States just shared this particular image after he released a statement saying, hey, what's going on here, guys? The people deserve an answer, and the government's not giving us any. As he issued a statement 2 days ago saying, mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know, and now otherwise shoot them down, GJT. As a lot of people now are thinking about the Chinese spy balloon controversy that, of course, engulfed the general public a few months ago. But this is definitely something different. There's something very strange about all of this. And luckily, with Donald Trump, we at least get to laugh about this current situation, as now there's even animated AI fake videos like this highlighting the former very unpopular governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie, getting his McDonald's deliveries through, of course, drones. As we know, a lot of private corporations like Walmart are...
Yeah, we know who made this French fries, huh? Yeah. Remember Donald Trump worked at McDonald's? Really, I'm not making this up. Donald Trump worked at McDonald's. We're going to show the images later.
Already have implemented trial programs along with Amazon that do deliver products and services to individuals through the use of drones. In Florida, an elderly man literally shot at one of these drones and was now issued to pay a $5,000 penalty. As we have to understand, what we're seeing right now has been slowly and surely escalating, and this is the important aspect that I think a lot of people need to understand here. As of course, on my social media feed within the last few weeks, and I think a lot of other people have been getting primed with a lot of videos and a lot of people coming out and saying, there's aliens, there's UFOs, here's this strange sighting, here's this strange video, or wait, hey, look at this weird video from this particular area. The footage that you're seeing right now is, of course, from China, where the government used drones there in order to, quote, sterilize local environments and put sanitizer in the air as they were spraying toxic disinfectant in largely populated areas in order to, of course, slow the spread, which didn't work here. It was absolutely idiotic and highlighted a larger calamity of government failure that, of course, we ultimately, as the citizens of this country, had to pay for.
Well, you see these drones used in China, they're at an altitude which you can recognize that they are drones. Yeah? So, and as shown before, there was someone trying to go up to the drone and the batteries failed. So that would not happen if you had, these Chinese drones, in my humble opinion. So,
and put sanitizer in the air as they were spraying toxic.
Yeah, you can see that is a drone, right? If you had a drone, you could fly right next to it. Nothing would happen.
Disinfectant in largely populated areas in order to, of course, slow the spread, which didn't work here. It was absolutely idiotic and highlighted a larger calamity of government failure that, of course, we ultimately, as the citizens of this country, had to pay for. We not only paid for the creating the damn sickness, but of course we were left dealing with it and then left dealing with the government's horrible decisions around it. But keep in mind, this video from China is going to be relevant to what I think is the most plausible explanation to all of this. As we have to understand here, the Pentagon literally issued a statement saying that the drones are not ours. Government officials in New Jersey saying they have no reports of anything resembling a plane in the skies, saying that a lot of these drones are untraceable, untouchable, and that they are freely operating within American airspace over military bases, strategic sites, and local law enforcement and other authority figures can't do anything about them. As we also have to remember throughout all of this, there is also a lot of disinformation and lies out there, as a lot of people are altering videos, a lot of people are posting fake videos, and dealing with this situation for many weeks on end now has been not that easy, especially as an independent journalist that usually thinks a lot of things are suspicious, and this whole entire saga has been suspicious to me from the very beginning, even before it got out there to the general public and all the local news stations that have started to talk about this. Since this
Well, you see, it's all about control. And when one card is dealt, well, we have a virus. We got to lock down the world. When one card is dealt, the next card would be more extreme, and maybe even a UFO invasion. So, we're dealing with a shadowy organization that probably has extraterrestrial, advancements, right? And they're showing their face now. Remember that Bond movie, Spectre? Yeah, it's kind of like that. They're showing their face now. They're out in the public using these, drones and trying to prevent Donald Trump from being president. They're throwing everything out of the cards, man. UFO invasion. Okay, why not use that? Yeah, the public's going to be scared shitless. Yeah, that's what they want. They want control over you. Yeah. And the government looks the other way, right? We don't know what's going on. Oh, these are not ours. Yeah, of course not. They're, from these shadowy organizations. So, yeah. It's a weird, weird world, man. And it's up to us to find out what's going on, because the media does not tell us. Now, I know Luke Rudowski went to Larry Silverstein and asked about the World Trade Center 7. And, that was a good thing. You were out in the public, but now you're at home, such as I am, right? And I question, how big is your target? Right? Are you happy, Luke, doing this? Right? Yeah. I think you have the thought, if I won't do it, no one else will. Yeah, that's why we're also here, right? No one else is talking about geopolitics. So that's why we're here.
This is an ongoing thing that has been going on for quite a while. And even major news organizations have fallen for the trap of posting video clips of airplanes and planets and blaming them on these drones. There's also, of course, a lot of satellites also up in the sky as well. But let's be honest, there's also a huge uptick in extremely suspicious behavior that does highlight very unique, weird drone usage all over the east coast of the United States, from Washington, D.C. to New Jersey to New York. And we have to understand here, drone capabilities have been increasing and improving very dramatically within the last few years. We have seen, specifically with the larger proxy conflict in Ukraine, the use of drones is absolutely critically important to, of course, not only dominating the airspace, but the local ground troops that will now have PTSD with them for the rest of their lives with the humming of drone sounds above them. Now, again, as it's becoming more difficult to discern fact from fiction, especially with all the crap that the government spews, crap like this, by the way.
There's no question that people are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to...
You see what I said? Right? Government looks the other way. Yeah. And they're putting out the UFO card, the UAP card, and they're muddying the waters. This is why there's Congress, right, talking about the UAPs and stuff like that. They're trying to open the case whilst they keep the case closed. No. It's a very complex situation. It's the same as 9/11, basically. George Bush did not want to make a commission and this and that. It took a year, because the Jersey wives, right, went to court and even were at the White House, for an investigation. So it's the Jersey wives that initiated the 9/11 Commission. It did not come from government because they knew. They knew. Well, what about the memo of Condoleezza Rice on August 8th, I believe? Bin Laden determined to strike New York, or something along those lines, right? So they knew. And they also know what's going on here. But nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Look the other way. Yeah, sports is on. Get distracted. Nothing to see here. And in the background, you see a big UFO crashed into the ground. Nothing to see here. Nope. Look that way. They know what's going on. They're just not telling us.
Crap that the government spews. Crap like this, by the way.
There's no question that people are seeing drones, and I want to assure the American public that we in the federal government have deployed additional resources, personnel, technology to assist the New Jersey State Police in addressing the drone sightings.
As he's shrugging all of this, saying, yeah, there's nothing unusual here at all. Don't worry, keep calm. As of course, the general public is going to be doing the exact opposite of that. As now, in the making of this video, the U.S. military has just confirmed drone sightings at an airbase in Germany. There's also other reports all around the world of suspicious drone sightings, as the latest information is now also coming from Britain, where UFO drones are now over U.S. bases there, as a lot of people, especially within the government, are, quote, baffled about what they're seeing here. Now, there's also other reports specifically detailing how some of these drones are literally landing near solar plant fields and sucking up the power, and other reports specifically from on-the-ground local news stations specifically describing how citizens are deciding to fly their drones near these very weird drones, and then very suspiciously all of their power just zaps out of their own personal drones, and they are of course forced to fly down and no longer could of course even see what's going on here. As the New Jersey Police Department even decided to fly their own drones to spot and track and find these drones, and they can't. This local news report just highlights the larger absurdity of this entire case.
Invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is? We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted...
It's not me saying it, right? It's not me saying it. 50 drones came out of the ocean and went overland. So it's not me saying it. It's a sheriff saying it, right? So this is the UFO card. Strange times.
Back to the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat, and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw?
So yeah, how do you quantify all of this? What's the larger understanding here? Well, let's extrapolate the little that we know here. As of course, a lot of people are reporting that these drones are about the size of a car. Some of them around 6 foot tall. They can't be tracked. There's no signal. There's no thermal imaging. At night, sometimes they decide to flash lights. Sometimes they don't flash lights. As consumer drones are taken down and have their energy and battery zapped when they fly near them. As of course, this highlights some really advanced high-tech stuff that, let's be honest, here our government could have, other governments could have, or other intelligent life could have too. Now, when it comes to the whole alien thing, personally, I used to be really into aliens and sort of believe in them when the government told us not to believe in them. But over the last few months and years, there has been a concerted effort of the government trying to convince us that aliens exist. And therefore, I'm a little bit more skeptical of it than I ever have been before. As again, these incidences of everything unfolding here, of everything that's happening here, is strange, but I think one of the most plausible explanations here, and one of the biggest universal truths here, is that the government is lying through their teeth, and they're making the situation that much worse. They're providing so much more panic, so much more fear, so much more speculation, as a New Jersey senator just came out and said that the feds are too fearful of public relation to tell the truth about the mysterious drones, as he hasn't told us exactly what he knows. But a lot of people are, of course, connecting the dots and making sense of all of this, as it's pretty clear here that with the government obfuscating a lot of this, and with the way that our defense systems have been kind of penetrated here, and the lack of questions here, that this larger drone operation, which is a major drone operation, is too large and too well organized for it to be any kind of foreign threat or outside life force entity. I'm sorry, it's just too big. It's just too much of an anomaly to be something that the government completely has no idea about. And in my opinion, I think there are sects of the government that know exactly what's going on here. And the best theory of what I can understand has been happening here is something that me and my friends were talking about. We were kind of debating whether we should even talk about this, but now a lot of people are talking about this already. And that is that these drones are looking for some kind of threat out there that could be either a dirty bomb, a small suitcase nuclear bomb, or another low-yield nuclear bomb kind of explosive device or chemical weapons attack that there could be a larger threat of, that these drones are sniffing out and trying to look for the signal of through, of course, their advanced mapping and scanning technology. As, of course, doing this operation with individuals would be extremely time-consuming. And if we're being generous for the government here, it is plausible that they are keeping it secret so they don't cause panic amongst the local populations, that they're looking for this particular weapon of mass destruction in their own location. Because if I know that there's a weapon of mass destruction in my area, I'm just going to get out of the area. As this does seem like one of the more kind of logical explanations to all of this, as I think there's also even a bigger, more sinister one at play here that I'm going to get into in just a little bit. But this theory originally was floated out by Jersey Futures, whose account was deleted, that specifically explained that these are the drones that are being used here, as he described that these are American-made HPGE nuclear detection drones that could, quote, detect the presence of gamma rays miles away, as according to him, they are scanning for radiation and electromagnetic waves that penetrate and are able to be found through these drones. It looks like a Chinese company makes very similar drones like this, as another online anonymous account on Reddit says that these drones are, quote, a part of a military drill being conducted by the Space Force, and that everything is, quote, on a need-to-know basis, and that there's, quote, full additional lockout drills that are scheduled to take place between now and Christmas Eve, and that these operations involve the full turnover of all radio and radar aircraft communication in the military for several hours at a time, and that people are setting up some kind of big show for the public very soon. And again, this is just an online anonymous account, so take that with a grain of salt, to say the least. As we have other anonymous online accounts saying that these drones over New Jersey are experimental anti-hypersonic missile defense systems that are being deployed due to a credible threat of a nuclear attack on New York City. Again, anonymous sources, anonymous kind of accounts here, as we do have to understand the larger kind of geopolitical ramifications of everything that we're dealing with right now.
Well, I'm not anonymous, you know. So my theory is that the shadowy organizations have the technology to put governments under pressure. You know, governments designed a bioweapon, we know that much, but that did not work. They want a world government, and they're willing to use anything to create that world government, right? A UFO invasion, that's in the cards. I was joking a couple of years ago, if this does not work out, maybe there will be a UFO invasion. And now we see drones up in the air and this and that. And why? Why is that? They're trying to stop Donald Trump. That's my theory. They're putting everything out, right? Even advanced technology. And, it's the shadowy organizations have also spread out, right? We're looking at government that's spread out, totalitarian, but there's a layer above that. The shadowy organizations also spread out, and they have the technology to do this, right? So that's my theory. We'll probably never know, because all these commissions are whitewash commissions, right? And that's what happened during 9/11. Yeah. A very, very sad fact is that government will never tell the truth, right? They're always going to keep things classified, and we pay for all that. They work for us. We don't work for them. That is the mentality that used to prevail, but government has grown so big that people don't even know that they have a government job, right? So, or a government supported job. So it's very fascinating to see that people, are being controlled, and the external forces that try to take over, for the world government, for the betterment of the world. Remember Watchmen? You probably know that. Watchmen. We're going to look it up, but first, we know where the French fries came from. We know where the French fries came from. Let's go back here. Wait, where is it picture? There we see the French fries.
The statement saying, hey, what's going on here, guys? The people deserve an answer, and the government's not giving us any. As he issued a statement 2 days ago saying, mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our...
Anyway, we know who is making the French fries, right? That is this guy here. Wait a minute. Here we go. There we have Donald J. Trump making French fries. This is a political move because he wants to be amongst the people. You see Nancy Pelosi and all these other people, they're in their ivory tower with a big car, big residence, overly protected, and stuff like that, And Donald J. Trump is right here, standing in McDonald's, making French fries. That is a very bold move for an upcoming president, right? This was during the elections, so it's a very bold move. But he's lowering his own standards towards McDonald's, concern that he likes, you know. Donald Trump used to say, I could also play golf and, you know, distract myself with that. But he's inclined to try to change America, even by lowering his own standards.
Right there.
Never even touch it, huh?
Exactly.
I always wonder, wow, that's pretty good.
And then you're going to put it right up here on this fryer.
Okay, so can I give it to these guys here? Take it.
Want to do another one?
Yeah.
So right here.
Let's go.
All the way back there. Good. And then you can hang that one right back over there. Thank you. And then we're going to grab our salt. And then just one dump. No limit. Good. Go over.
Never touched by a human hand. Nice and clean. I love salt. Wait a minute, I spilled some. I'm very superstitious. Now it's over the left shoulder. Now I'm over the left.
And this is their
I mean, that's thousands of people. Hello, how are you? What a beautiful woman. Look at that beautiful child to hold. It's like...
You see, thousands of people. Yeah, that's because you're a presidential candidate, right? Donald J. Trump is going to come towards this neck of the woods, right? So we have a message here. Wait, I gotta respond to this. So Donald J. Trump is going to come to our town, and the whole town is coming together, you know, to see Donald J. Trump. And you know why? Because his light is bright. His light is bright. Now, he may have had the golden spoon during his life, right? But, you know, he's also had his ups and downs, as everyone does in life. So, yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that you're shining your light and saying, we're going to change this year. We're going to change America. So, yeah, for America, it's a good thing. But for the rest of the world, who knows? Who knows? We're kind of dependent on America, right? So on the world stage, we are just a dot that supports the EU. And we have a good relation with the U.S., even under Biden. And we have a high esteem for the U.S. But when Donald Trump came into power, that's going to be bad. Yeah, it's going to be. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So, yeah, Donald Trump's going to be in power again. We're going to see what's going to happen within the U.S., right? Because there's a cultural war going on over there. So, and the left know that they lost, yet they're not willing to accept their loss, right? So we're going to take a look at liberal hive mind, who was talking about some dude that, supported Joe Biden and still supports Joe Biden, right? Let's take a look at this here. Wait. There, you fell for it.
About these diet.
So we're gonna go back a few steps here.
He's back. He was on hiatus for a while, but now the legendary DNC shill is back, posting multiple videos a day, and he's doing it again. Serving up possibly the worst video content, the worst takes on the internet. You know, this is the best they got. This is the Democrats' online presence in the digital information battle. They're friggin' screwed, folks. Harry Sisson takes the bait. Let me show you guys exactly what happened. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so we got 2 clips here. The first is this one.
To all of you Trump supporters out there, you got played so badly by Donald Trump. His entire campaign promise to you was we're going to lower prices. Now, just today, he said it's going to be very hard to lower grocery prices. After saying he could do it like that, it would be so easy. And Donald Trump also recently said that he couldn't guarantee that his tariffs won't raise prices. So congratulations, MAGA. Not only are you not getting lower prices, but instead you're getting higher prices because we pay the tariffs. All of us.
You do not understand economics, right? You see, the U.S. is not a republic anymore. It's an empire. You have control over certain aspects of Europe, right? Africa, and somewhere in Asia, Taiwan. So it's an empire. Money is just flowing out of the White House with lots and lots of money goes there and there and there and there. Oh, we also have to spend money on Ukraine. Yeah. We also have to spend money on Israel. Yeah, because they're our friends and they're under threat. So, but coming to the costs of life, right? Biden actually inflated more, more money in circulation and less value of the money. Yeah. Because all these military bases somewhere in the Asian Pacific or Africa, they get their money back from that. We have a government, government of Iraq, for example. And we have a military base, and we're going to sell military supplies to the Iraqi government. You see, this is how it works. This is how the U.S. Implants itself within a country, right? You may question yourself, Harry Sisson, why the U.S. is in northeast of Syria. Yeah. Well, that's where the oil is. Yeah, Donald Trump said, in his first term, we have control over their oil. So this dude, Harry Sisson, does not understand the basic structure of how it all works, right? But we're going to explain. Don't worry about that. We already explained it, basically. So on the top level, you have these shadowy organizations, And then comes the layer of governments. And under that, you have the bureaucratic system. That's a deep state. And you also have all these agencies, right? CIA, FBI, Pentagon. You know, that's the American system. And you have these investment companies such as Vanguard and BlackRock, right? And these investment companies invest in the worst thing possible, which is war and the restructurement of the country after the war, right? This is how you make money. Yeah. So Harry Sisson is just an ideologue of the Democratic faction within government, right? We all know this. It's like the same as the Netherlands, basically. But over here we have more political parties than we could think of, like 18 or so. And, you know, yeah, I'm going to support this political party. My political party is better than yours. You know, we have that going on in the Netherlands. My party is better than yours. You're far right. You know, it's like, what? Really? Aren't we just all human beings? Can't we just get along? Yeah. Do we always have to fight? When will there be a time where there's peace? Where there's real freedom? You know, why put a price on everything? It's weird how it works, right? Vegetables come from the ground and, you know, you're shipped off to a supermarket and you buy it. It's really weird how it works. And Christmas is coming. We're all coming together as a family. Are we? Are we really happy? Yeah, the belly is full. We got our presents. Yeah, we're drinking some beer and watching the game. Yeah, we're happy, right? Aren't we all happy? You know, this Harry Sisson is an ideologue. Many people are like that. Oh, my football team is better than yours. My baseball, whatever. It's better than yours. Really? Don't we all have our ups and downs? Anyway. Yeah, this, yeah, very, very sad that he's an ideologue, right? Oh, my party's better than yours. Oh, you got Trump or Trump. So it's like, what, really? Don't you understand what's going on here? Huh? So let's take a look at another video of Liberal Hive Mind. He's not really into UFOs, or drones, or don't see anything about that. This is interesting. Joe Rogan exposes the FBI.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, this right here, what I'm about to show you guys, is why they hate Joe Rogan so much. It's actually very simple. It's mostly due to the fact that Joe Rogan is actually willing to have a real conversation. You know, the left keeps crying, why don't we have our own Joe Rogan? And well, the answer is actually very simple, because you guys can never have these types of conversations. Your precious built narratives are too delicate and must be protected, and so you can't have Joe Rogan. You cannot have honest conversations like this, where the precious narrative that you built is attacked and essentially crumbles before our very eyes with the lightest of questioning and scrutiny. This is why they hate him so much. This is why Kamala Harris refused to show up on Joe Rogan's podcast. Let me show you guys exactly what's happening. As Joe Rogan takes on the January 6th narrative, we got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so I got an interesting segment I want to show you guys. Let's just say this is how real people are talking about January 6th. You know, kind of a far cry from the conversation that you see from most of the talking heads occupying most of the discussion panels in the mainstream media.
Yeah.
You got a friend who was a January 6th guy?
Well, he's still there. He's like hundreds of days in jail without any kind of without trial,
without process.
Yeah. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but like that's not how it's supposed to be, is it?
It's not how it's supposed to be.
You're supposed to have a due process of some kind.
Well, especially when you watch the actual footage of how it went down.
Oh, I watched it live. Cops were waving people in. They were opening the doors for people.
I want you to think about it this way. In the most heavily armed nation the world has ever known, why would you have an insurrection with no guns?
You got to have guns. Machine guns.
Those guys weren't planning on an insurrection.
No.
And then you have the factor that there was agents in the crowd, and we don't know how many. There's government agents in the crowd that were inciting people to go in.
Yeah.
That's what they do. But this guy who was a cop, it was not by the protesters. And you watch the video of the shaman dude with the buffalo hat. They're walking him around. The cops are guiding
they're showing him around. No,
they're guiding him. How would you ever think that that is going to let you wind up in jail? Yeah, you don't do an insurrection without weapons. The whole idea is crazy. Certainly to go into the Capitol was a bad decision to smash windows, but I want to know who was
people
doing
had been smashing things like for a whole year before that.
Right.
We know 26 federal agents were at the Capitol back then, and we know enough, right? It was a false flag to stage a smear campaign on President Trump back then, who was president, and an exchange of power. And Donald Trump said, "We want peace, go home peacefully," or something along those lines. And that did not happen. It was agitated by the feds, right? Come on, we got to go in, man. We got to stop these Democrats. Kind of like that. And then it happened, basically. And these were agitators, and it's obvious. It's to make a frame of lies, a frame of consensus upon those lies. We remember what Kamala Harris said, right? Memorable day, and along those lines, right? January 6th. We'll always remember that. There.
Let's listen to the Vice President.
Certain dates echo throughout history, including dates that instantly remind all who have lived through them where they were and what they were doing when our democracy came under assault. Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941, September 11th, 2001, and January 6th, 2021.
So you're comparing the death of 3,000 people with the death of one. Right? We know Ashley Babbitt got shot. We're not going to forget that. We know these people were, come on in. Yeah, if you want to come in, we'll show you the way. Right? It's like, what, really? This is for the public image and to make a frame of consensus. All these Trump supporters are bad. Look at what they're doing to the Capitol. No, it's these agent provocateurs that made this happen, right? And it's all for public image. We'll never forget what happened on January 6th. We know how the game is played. We're looking through these lies and trying to explain, so, and maybe people already see it. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe someone does not see it and is now the wiser because of all this that's been said, right? But I hope that the veil of these people is released, and now we can see the alien hybrid lizard, whatever, standing there lying to us, right? So there's so much more to say, right? So much more to say. Anyway, let's take a look at something else. This is very interesting. Richard Medhurst, a Syrian English guy that lives in England, that talks about Syria. Let's take a look at this.
That men and women should not socialize or mix in public. I mean, it's amazing, really. And this is in Mesde. This is in downtown Damascus. I can't believe what I'm hearing, honestly. I can't believe this. They're actually announcing it on a loudspeaker. They really are. And you can see here, this is the news. Apparently, this is the new Syrian justice minister saying that they're going to establish Sharia law.
الحمد لله الذي صدقنا وعده وهنا القصر العدلي بحلب بين أيدي أبناء الثورة والمجاهدين. الحمد لله رب العالمين الذي دخلناه رافعين الرأس.
Now, I did not understand a word of it except for Mujahideen, right? It's like, thank God for subtitles. I asked God Almighty, yeah, which God? Which God do you serve? Right? Yeah. The one with the big horns. Yeah? Very, very sad thing to see. Syria used to be free. Now there will be an Islamic caliphate in Syria, right? Supported by the Islamic Republic of Turkey, right? And, Israel will not be any more safe than under Assad. So, and if you look at the geopolitical scale, right? the people, the countries involved in Syria are basically Turkey, the United States, Israel, and that's basically it. And they're eating up Syria. No freedom there. No freedom there. We saw this also happen in Iraq, in Libya, and also, let's not forget, Yemen, right? The Houthis are in power in Sana'a, controlling the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, right? They control this corner here, the keystone corner for every shipping container that goes to Europe, right? So, very, very sad thing to see. And there's still a war going on in Sudan, as far as we checked. And yeah, Myanmar is still under the coup government. So there are many pressure points. North Korea and South Korea not going along well. So Donald Trump, you got a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff. You know? You can be a unifier by unifying Japan with South and North Korea, right? Who knows? Who knows? But that is a pressing issue. We also have Taiwan, right? China claims Taiwan, and other issues such as Venezuela that wants 1/3 of Guyana. So we have that going on, right? This is why there's dotted lines here, but this dotted line here is the border. But Venezuela is maybe going to annex it, and yeah, then Guyana will be this small strip here. We also have partition in Suriname, right? So it's very, very complicated. Yeah, you also have French Guiana, so to the south of Suriname. You have loose borders, basically, right? So Suriname says that the outer dotted line here is their border, and French Guiana says, nope, this is our border, and the same goes for Guyana. So, very complex situation here. And who knows, maybe there will be warfare. So Donald Trump has a lot on his plate. There's also Haiti, right? Mr. Barbecue fighting the Kenyan intervention force in Haiti. So let's take a look at Haiti. What is going on there today? There is a blackout, but sometimes we get recent news. And the last news is from 2 hours ago in Haiti. So let's take a look at that situation there. We know the president was assassinated and gangs took over. And yeah, we're going to take a look at this here.
They're members of the Vivan Sam gang coalition in Port-au-Prince. They're fighting to extend their control over Haiti's capital. But many of them are just children. Paca Mori, not his real name, is 14. He has been in a gang since he was 12. His father was killed 2 years ago. His mother is too ill to take care of him.
The police killed my friends, my father, my uncles, so I'm fighting for revenge. I shouldn't be in a gang, but this is all we have in Haiti. We're hoping to control the airport again, and then control the whole country.
UNICEF says child recruitment has increased 70% in the past year, as violence has swamped this Caribbean nation. They're used as fighters, informants, and forced labor. Conditions deteriorated in the capital after the killing of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021. The United Nations has a security support mission here. 400 Kenyan forces who are helping the police in the fight against gangs. Tilari is 16 years old. He is an orphan. He says the gangs have given him a purpose.
The chief treats us well. He trusts us with the money we save for him and gives us everything we need. Maybe I should have been in school, but it's not our fault. The government is responsible, and that's why we've taken up arms.
Children in Haiti are struggling for food, education, and are now extremely vulnerable to recruitment.
They use all and any means possible. So yes, in some cases, they do go and they threaten the child and their family if they refuse to come and join the armed group. In other cases, they will promise food and security and income for the family and for the child. In other cases, they try, the armed group they're quite good at using social media.
Narayan, who is in Port-au-Prince, says working in Haiti has become extremely difficult for international organizations.
The security situation, frankly, is making our work much more difficult. It's making it more costly and much more complicated. But it also makes our work even more necessary because children are children, no matter what. Whether it is a child who has been recruited, forced to join an armed group.
For now, it seems, the international community has failed to find a solution to the ongoing crisis in Haiti. And as the conflict continues to escalate, children have now taken a crucial role on the front line.
Oh, the games are on. Honey, grab the beer. The games are on. Yep. Gonna sit here, watch the games, and distract myself. You know. Yeah, they scored after an hour. Yeah. But look at Haiti. Children are fighting. A very, very sad thing to see. Children are supposed to grow up with an education, not learn to use a weapon and stuff like that. You know, it's really, really sad. The state of this world. You know, maybe it is good to be distracted once in a while. But this is the state of the world, man. You know? And it's not here yet, but our Prime Minister had said, or our former Prime Minister had said, you know, war is looming. We must prepare ourselves mentally and physically for war, right? Stash cash, and there's even a bank run in the Netherlands. Right? So, but our government, you know, they put us in a box, basically. They say you're not allowed to stash more than X amount, right? But it's your money. It's your money. It's like, what, really? You know? So, war is looming, according to the NATO General Secretary Mark Rutte, our sworn enemy, Mark Rutte, is in a higher position of power and, you know, abusing his power by supporting the battering ram of Ukraine against Russia, you know, and also supporting Israel, even though Israel has the right to defend itself. What about the Palestinians? Don't they have the right to defend themselves? So the spiral of violence only grows more and more if you put in a caliphate, for example, in Syria, right? So dark times are ahead for Syria. We pray for the people in Syria. We pray that they will achieve freedom. You know, we want freedom. That's what we want. We want freedom. We don't want a big centralized government that has power over us, deciding that you can walk that line. No, we don't want that. We want freedom, freedom of expression and such. You know, also, why not? You know, why not? Who are you to decide what I can say? You know, it's like, what, really? Really? And you want to ban me? For what? For showing what's happening in Haiti? Really? Am I a weird conspiracy theorist when I show gangs are taking over in Haiti and such? No. You know, it's happening. It's actually happening. And this is not how it's supposed to happen. Right? How it's supposed to happen is these kids wearing weapons are supposed to play, you know, football on the fields and educate themselves. Read Charles Dickens, Aldous Huxley, people like that. George Orwell, also better known as Eric Arthur Blair. So read that, right? Read The Grand Chessboard. Zbigniew Brzezinski, you know, the guy who made the Mujahideen. Yeah, that guy. You know, read that. Don't look at all these distractions. You know, don't focus on that. Focus on the political stuff, what's happening. You know, be the change that you want to see change. And I know I cannot save the world on my own, even though there is a drive. You know, there is a drive. I don't see people as Muslim or Christian or Jewish or I don't care. You are a human being. You have the right to live. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And maybe you're ideologically on the right side or the left side. We're hovering above that, right? Both parties, the right and the left, are corrupt. We supported jihadis for 3 years. 3 years. My government has blood on their hands, and I'm supposed to sit here and distract myself? Really? I'm trying to awaken the flame within the human being. We all have a right to live, right? Or is one better than the other? That's how it works now. The choices that people can make in Haiti are very slim. You know, no job, no this, no that, no facilities. We got a gang here. And all the well-educated people of Haiti have fled the country by your own self-interest. right? I want myself to be happy for the betterment of myself and also my family. And Biden, come on in, come on in. So all the well-educated people are gone, and now the dumb people have taken over. And they're fighting the paramilitary police from Kenya. So, very, very sad, right? We want peace. That's what we want. Let's return to the gold standard. Then you give value to money. And is that a good thing? So many wars are spent with so much money. Why not a war on money? The value of money. It's not worth much when it's not, when it doesn't have an undercurrent, right, such as gold and silver. But those are minerals which are rare. Maybe you can find some gold over in the mountains somewhere, but it's not really abundant, put it that way. So it used to be, but not anymore. Now people even have gold toilets and stuff like that. Even though it's plated gold, there's a big difference, but still, it's an extraction of a mineral. So, yeah, it's a very hard thing to change, this whole system. First you have the mentality. What the hell am I doing? I'm going to work, right, which does not enrich myself, mentally, maybe physically. Going to get my money and support my family. Is that it? Is that it? Is that why you're working along with the system that's inherently corrupt and bad? Right? Israel's biggest lie destroyed. So we have Owen Jones reporting about Israel, the biggest lie destroyed.
0 for defenders of the Israeli state and its...
First, go back.
This new devastating report into Israel's bombing campaign against the people of Gaza exposes the genocidal mayhem unleashed by the Israeli state. It leaves no place to hide. 0 for defenders of the Israeli state and its murderous behaviour in Gaza. All of their arguments, all of their defences destroyed, buried in the rubble, indeed, of Gaza. For those of us who live in states which have armed and facilitated this genocide...
So, Owen Jones, I got to correct you on that. Israel did more than that. They attacked Lebanon, they attacked Yemen, and Syria, all in one day. So, you're focusing on the Gaza Strip, which is also very bad, a very, very sad situation, but you're not looking at the external factors here. So, now Assad is gone, and they're going further than the Golan Heights towards Damascus, and they also, bombed Damascus and other parts of Syria. And who knows, maybe they're going to divide it, partitioning. So, anyway, let's keep this rolling.
We have a responsibility to know what this report says. That's what we're going to talk about. Now, after all, the human catastrophe which has enveloped the Palestinian people was made possible because of the weaponry handed to Israel by Western states, principally by the United States, but the British government, as an example, still gives Israel the crucial components needed for the F-35 jets, which have reduced much of Gaza to an apocalyptic wasteland. This new report is produced by Air Wars. It's a UK-based organisation founded 1 decade ago or so, which came to prominence by tracking and archiving the aerial bombardment of so-called Islamic State, ISIS, and other such jihadi groups in Iraq and Syria in particular. They're run by a team of experts, and their impact goals, as described on their website, include to pressure governments and military actors to acknowledge and take responsibility for the full human toll of their actions, ensure measures to prevent human suffering, particularly amongst civilian populations, are centred in military policy and practice. This report focuses on the first 25 days of the onslaught against Gaza after Israeli President Isaac Herzog declared there were no uninvolved civilians in Gaza, when the defence minister and an Israeli general charged with civilian affairs had described those civilians as human animals and human beasts who, as the latter put it, would only get damage and hell. It's important to just put that here when I'm talking about this report, because always remember, they didn't hide what they were going to do. They made it clear, and we can link the overwhelming evidence produced by Air Wars to the stated intent of the Israeli state. Now, according to Air Wars, at least 5,139 civilians were killed in October 2023 in Gaza. Bear in mind its pre-war population was about 2.2 million. Of those, at least 1,900 children were killed. And bear in mind the vast majority of this was before the ground invasion. Air Wars say it is by far the most intense, destructive and fatal conflict for civilians that Air Wars has ever documented. The statistics speak for themselves and leave any suggestion that the Israeli state has sought to prevent civilian harm exposed for what it is, the unforgivable sin of atrocity denial. Just listen to this. Air Wars looked at 606 incidents of civilian harm in this 25-day period. In those 606 incidents, in which at least 5,139 civilians were killed, guess how many militants they established had been killed? Between 30 and 58. An academic who goes under History Speaks on Twitter, who I recommend, has done a pie chart graph which exposes the murderous absurdity of this crime. As the graph shows, 99.4% of these incidents killed civilians, with 0.6% killing militants. The most
0.6. Mission accomplished. Yeah, mission accomplished. Right? Right, Netanyahu? Mission accomplished. There's a power vacuum in Syria. Let's go to Iran. Iran is the enemy. Iran. Oh, the Ayatollah. Oh, they're bad. Bad people. Now, you are bad, Netanyahu. You are bad. Yeah? For bombing Lebanon, Syria, Yemen. What the hell are you doing, Netanyahu? What the hell? But yeah, you have President Biden that's asleep at the wheel, you know, at the back seat, and you have Kamala absent from her role, right? So you have a pit bull, Netanyahu, you know, bombing the heck out of everything. And you have a sultan in Turkey wanting the northeast of Syria, right? So it's one big hornet's nest, and one player is gone from the hornet's nest. And yeah, you're just focusing on Gaza, Owen Jones. Also a good thing to do. I'm not criticizing you with that, but you know, there's more that Israel's done.
Most moral army in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, what these statistics expose is a naked war of extermination. They find that when a named individual is killed, an average of 14 members of his or her family were also killed. Indeed, in the first year over 900 entire Palestinian bloodlines in Gaza, that is, entire extended families, from little babies to great-grandparents, have been wiped from the face of the earth.
I remember this Palestinian, it was on Al Jazeera, I believe, and this father, right? He went to somewhere for a birth certificate for the kids, recently born. So he was gone. His wife with the kids, and yeah, shot. All shot. The guy comes home and sees his wife dead, kids dead, and he has the birth certificate in his hands. And what about that guy? No, he's probably dead too. So, mass destruction. Mass destruction. We want peace. That's what we want. I remember the images of a kid outside a bombed hospital, right? And he was set on fire. A kid severely injured and just set on fire. You know? These are subhumans. We have the right to stay here. You know, this is our land. Yeah, we're all human beings. But what you're doing, Netanyahu, is disgusting. Disgusting. Really is disgusting. And it's disgusting that our government is supporting this, saying Iran is the enemy for bombing Israel once with missiles. We also show that. So it's like, what? Really? Really? Very sad thing to see. But this is the state of the world. I wish it was better. I wish it was better. But it's up to you. It's up to you. What are you going to do about it? Anyway, we're going to close the broadcast. I thank you all for watching. Let's close off with a song. Even though we're going to get, probably going to get a YouTube warning. You're not allowed to play the song. So they're going to get you. Or, yeah, there we go.
Okay. Rolling.
Hello, this is Ollie the Octopus.
Hi, here we are outside the US Embassy. I'm about to play my song. It's called They're Going to Get You. We're filming them because they film us. If you don't renew your tax disc, you'll be driving at your own risk. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. They can use their Jedi mind tricks, psychometric biometrics. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. CCTV in your clamshell, turning in the grave of Orwell. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. DNA no longer your own because they've mapped out your genome. Be careful what you say when you're on the phone, because they know where you live, them when you're on your own. Daddies, watch your daughters, there's Prozac in the water. They're going to get you, they're going to get you. Don't start a revolution, they'll get you with their air pollution. They're going to get you, they're going to get you. Because we think we are paranoid, deployed, they're going to get you. They're going to get you. They get your details in the dope. You now they know you. They're going to get you. Careful what you say when you're on the phone, because they know where you live. And when you're on your own, 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 on your own. I'm gonna go over here for the last verse.
Nice one.
Good afternoon.
By the way, for the we're from the police entertainment unit, here to make your day a little bit more exciting with entertainment. Have you not heard of us?
They'll look you up for them, it's not hard, so look your best on your ID card. They're going to get you, they're going to get you. They can make your life live in hell if you even mention as well. They're going to get you, they're going to get you. You can join in if you want. They're going to get you, they're going to get you. They're going to get you, they're going to get you. They're going to get you, they're going to get you. Be careful what you say when you're on the phone, because they know where you live. And when you're on your own, be careful what you say. Be careful when you're on the phone, because they know where you live. They know when you're on your own. Be careful what you say when you're on the phone, because they know where you live. When you're on your own, 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 on your own.
You are allowed to clap.
Ollie the Octopus, thank you very much for that.
Sorry, just to explain, if I may, police, you probably don't know about the police entertainment department, but it's a group of us, and what we do various things to kind of cheer up the police and get them a bit more connected to us, the ununiformed. And one of the, I'm actually the head of the police hugging department. Yeah. And
No hugs?
you're not up for a hug?
Hugging makes the world
Sir?
a better place. Can we
Sir,
hug
you up
you?
for a hug, sir?
Can we please hug you?
No?
But it's only a nice hug.
It's just a hug.
We're
Go
all
on.
we're all
Are
beautiful
you
and
allowed
unique
to?
snowflakes of Mother Nature and all the rest of it. No?
Are we, Charlie? Are we really? Huh? Because now you chose a side in a conflict that is not yours. So, we also got a video in the light of Christmas coming up. Right? When is it? Wait. Today is the 15th. So we got 10 more days until Christmas. Have you put out your stockings? Maybe Santa Claus will come to your home. Who knows? So we have a Christmas video that we got from Mr. Green Thumb, who's also watching. And let's take a look at this here. You have to love the Canadians, right? So the Canadians had a convoy, Christmas convoy at Niagara Falls. We were watching Soup Mama. Wait. gonna plug her. Soup Mama. And she's always on the road, and we're going to take a look at her channel first. Wait, one sec. Soup Mama Official. Here we go. There we have Soup Mama Official, and she was also in the Freedom Christmas Convoy, and yeah, we also like to see her on the road. She's in the Christmas spirit, as are many other people distracted with Christmas. What are we going to buy for our kids? The family. Oh, the family. We all need material things. But there are more concerns. So she was at the Christmas convoy, as you can see here. Christmas convoy. And we have a song coming up from the Canadians, as I've shown before, there, and let's play a small piece of this here. Hey, what the hell? Wait, let's go back a bit.
Christmas, the Christmas tree's on fire. Santa's holding the lighter. My parents are both liars. I got gifts but one subscribers. Thanks for the candy basket. Oh, got another jacket. My stocking's filled with acid. Am I dreaming? What just happened? This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas.
Now, I saw a truck coming by with "Save the Children." Save the children. Right.
Basket. Oh, got another jacket. My stocking's filled.
There we go. Save the children. Which children need saving? Are you talking about the kids in Haiti? Or your own kids? Right? Anyway. That's just a thought that came up.
Filled with acid. Am I dreaming? What just happened? This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the money cause they want presents inside. This year had me so mad. I've been
Yeah, we love the Canadians. We're not going to play everything. But Freedom Convoy 2024 Christmas Parade. Soup Mama was also there. subscribe to her channel. And I think I've said enough for now. So we will be back watching the world. And yeah, I thank you all for watching. And we'll see each other next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.